Mortal Kombat turns 25 years old this year, and it remains my favorite video game to live-action film adaptation to date. So now seems like the perfect time to go over 25 must-know details for the film's 25th anniversary.
It has begun! Get over here!
To start, we're going to go over all of the special moves taken directly from the game for the film's main characters, starting with Liu Kang. Before a couple of his fights, Liu Kang does a sequence of martial arts moves and a bow to his opponent. While it's not exactly the same kind of bow, Liu Kang does bow at the end of his matches in the Mortal Kombat games, so I like to think of this as a nod to that. He also performs his bicycle kick against Reptile, which I always called the turkey kick when I was a kid because of the way his in-game character screams while performing it in Mortal Kombat 2. Finally, to finish off Shang Tsung, Liu Kang performs his Fireball special attack, obtaining that flawless victory. Johnny Cage, my personal favorite of the film, has the unfortunate fortune of facing off against Scorpion. Luckily, he has a few special moves to showcase here, including an unsuccessful shadow kick, and upon beating Scorpion, his friendship finisher, directly from the game, where he throws out an autographed headshot of himself with the line, "To my best fan." Although, in the film, this was changed to "my greatest fan." Facing off against Goro, Goro immediately crushes Johnny's glasses.
Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Which is a nice nod to the fact Johnny Cage always put on his sunglasses after winning a match in the game, and dons his sunglasses in the character select screen. Of course, against Goro, we get to witness Johnny perform his Nutcracker. 8-year-old me found this absolutely hilarious, and you know what? I still do. I haven't grown up at all. While Sonya Blade unfortunately only gets one real one-on-one bout in the film, we do get to see her perform her leg grab against Kano. Like Sonya, we don't get to see too much from Kano, but he does bring a knife to his fight with her. This is a reference to his special long-distance attack where he throws a blade in the game. Scorpion gets a bit more love in the film, using his CG grappling hook that didn't age well at all. Of course, in the games, this was just a spear, but hey, now it's a part of his body. Sure. The fact that Scorpion brings Johnny Cage to another dimension during their battles sort of reminds me a bit of his air teleport punch, just due to his ability to teleport. It's a bit of a stretch, I know, but I'm gonna allow myself that one. Finally, we get to see Scorpion pull off his mask, reveal his true form, and perform the toasty fatality against Johnny Cage, albeit unsuccessfully as Johnny uses the opportunity to slice Scorpion's head off. Sub-Zero was always my favorite character from the games, so I was a little disappointed as a kid that he didn't have a bigger role in the films. In fact, he only truly has one move taken from the games. While he uses his ice attack multiple times in the film, the only one specifically from the game is when Sub-Zero uses it against a random henchman during the Taste of Things to Come segment. Mortal Kombat's third ninja, Reptile, who is only an extremely well-hidden secret fight in the first Mortal Kombat game, gets a fairly big role in the Mortal Kombat film. He uses his invisibility, a move taken from the game, in order to spy on Kitana. He also has a chance to use his acid spit attack. In the Mortal Kombat game, Goro can pick up his opponents with his lower set of arms, then wail on them with his upper set of arms. The film doesn't depict quite this, but it does show Goro doing almost the exact same thing, but only hitting his opponent once. I'm gonna say this one's close enough. The final baddie of Mortal Kombat 1 is the final baddie of the film, and Shang Tsung maintains his ability to transform into different fighters. While the game sees him using this ability for every fighter in the game, in the movie he only uses it on fighters whose souls he's taken, like Liu Kang's brother. Or is it only people he's killed? I'm not sure, actually. As Shang Tsung transforms into Johnny Cage's master to trick him into joining Mortal Kombat, I'm not sure if that implies Shang Tsung killed Johnny Cage's master, or if Shang Tsung just chose not to transform into any living fighter while duking it out with Liu Kang. Either way, we see him stealing the soul of multiple victims from the Mortal Kombat tournament, which is a reference to his soul steal fatality from the games. While the Highlander doesn't do too much fighting in the Mortal Kombat film, we do still get to see him utilize a couple of his special moves from the game. On the boat, we see him use both his teleport ability and lightning bolt attack on Sub-Zero and Scorpion in order to prevent them from cheating before the tournament has begun. According to producer Larry Kasanoff and director Paul W.S. Anderson, some of these moments from the games can be attributed to the test audience. When they took the film in front of the test audience, the one resounding response they got was, "More fights." Makes sense, it's a fighting game. Thanks to this, both the Johnny Cage vs. Scorpion fight and Liu Kang vs. Reptile fight were added. Although, it's hard to imagine these fights not having been in the film. If they hadn't, I'd be questioning what happened to Scorpion the entire time. Beyond seeing special attacks taken straight from the game, a few of the locations also stick out as either being from the games, or very likely homages to them. It might just be me, but the Temple of Light where Liu Kang and Raiden first speak reminds me of the courtyard arena from Mortal Kombat 1, especially with all the monks. When the Earth Gang are first confronted by Shang Tsung and his minions on the boat, the room has a small bridge surrounded by chains which reminded me of Mortal Kombat 2's stage, the Deadpool. When chasing after Shang Tsung, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade all cross a perilous and narrow bridge within a cave. This is, of course, reminiscent of the Pit 2 stage in Mortal Kombat 2, albeit inside of a cave. The portal Sonya is taken through by Shang Tsung is, as odd as it may sound, reminiscent of the stage The Portal. When Johnny Cage and Liu Kang chase after Shang Tsung to Outworld, the dystopian location looks like the Wasteland Arena from Mortal Kombat 2. Finally, in a nod to the pit arenas, which have base levels covered in spikes, Shang Tsung summons a number of spikes in the final location where he dukes it out with Liu Kang, and eventually meets his demise to said spikes. At the very beginning of the film, Sonya is chasing after Kano to try and get revenge on him. Her partner traveling with her is Jax, who according to the game's lore is part of the same US Special Forces unit as Sonya Blade. In Mortal Kombat 2, Sonya is no longer playable, with Jax taking her place, believing she's been kidnapped and searching Outworld for her. In the film, we only see him briefly as he tries to prevent Sonya from chasing Kano onto the Mortal Kombat boat. At the very end of the film, Shao Kahn makes a sudden appearance teasing another Mortal Kombat movie. Shao Kahn is, of course, the main baddie of Mortal Kombat 2 and the Emperor to whom Shang Tsung serves in the film. This scene should also be erased from the movie, and you can really just stop the film right before it happened, because all it teased was Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which was a terrible, terrible film.
As long as the portal remains open, your world becomes my world.
Seriously, erase this scene. It never happened. Liu Kang references Kung Lao being his ancestor in the film, with Lao, of course, being a playable character in Mortal Kombat 2. There was a tie-in film released on home video to Mortal Kombat that was supposed to serve as a prequel, Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. Here we see the great Kung Lao fighting, and he resembles the Mortal Kombat 2 character. However, notably, in the game's lore, Kung Lao is said to be the last known descendant of the great Kung Lao, and fights alongside Liu Kang, being relatively the same age. While Robin Shou gained notoriety in the West for his role as Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat, it wouldn't be the only famous fighting game film adaptation he would make an appearance in. Robin Shou also makes a brief appearance in DOA Dead or Alive, and more notably, appears in Mortal Kombat's major franchise rival, Street Fighter. Shou plays Gen in Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, who just happens to be Chun-Li's teacher. Does that mean Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter's worlds are actually connected? Chun-Li's master, who goes by the alias again, was actually Liu Kang all along? Considering Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li was an absolute abomination of a movie, I'm gonna say no and pretend the film just doesn't exist. Similar to Robin Shou, Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, who plays Shang Tsung, also appeared in another major fighting games film adaptation. This time, it was the film adaptation of Tekken, with Tagawa playing the villainous role of Heihachi Mishima. Probably the most obvious pulls from the games, outside of the characters, is the various catchphrases its characters repeat.
Finish him! Finish him!
Flawless victory.
Flawless victory. Get over here! Get over here!
Fatality.
Fatality.
One of the cooler Easter eggs in the film I never noticed until looking it up, and I have to wonder how many people actually caught at the time, is a secret code hidden in the Liu Kang Reptile fight sequence. Near the end of the fight, you can spot on the wall the combat code, $Goro blank, $Goro MK logo, which when entering into Mortal Kombat 3, which was released the same year as the film, will get you nothing. As it turns out, this blank one is supposed to be the MK logo. How anyone can tell, I don't know. But anyways, the code, $Goro MK logo, $Goro MK logo, activates a mode where your character will randomly morph into other characters throughout the fight. 3 protagonists set sail on a boat in order to enter a martial arts tournament run by an evil antagonist. Sound familiar? That's because it's not only the plot to Mortal Kombat, but also the plot to Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon, to which the original game and film seem to be heavily based upon. In Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee plays a prank on a particularly obnoxious passenger by tricking him into getting on a small boat and leaving him partially stranded. Similarly, Liu Kang plays a prank on Johnny Cage, who's acting obnoxious, thinking Liu Kang will take his money and do the dirty work of carrying his luggage. Liu Kang takes the money and tosses the luggage into the sea. Christopher Lambert as Raiden was an expensive get for the film, and would have driven the film over budget to pay for him to travel to Thailand. Director Paul W.S. Anderson decided that, to compensate, they would shoot all of Christopher Lambert's scenes as close-ups in LA, while a double would be in the wide shots. When Christopher Lambert found out, he refused and said, "Forget about that, I'm coming to Thailand." He came to Thailand for almost nothing, and apparently, while there, even paid for the rap party. As Mortal Kombat is a martial arts movie, injuries were inevitable, and all 3 of the leads were injured in creating the film. Bridget Wilson-Sampras, who played Sonya Blade, partially dislocated her shoulder at the beginning of shooting, but after getting a pop back in was fine. Lyndon Ashby, who played Johnny Cage, had to face his teacher who was playing Scorpion. During the fight, Scorpion performs an axe kick on Johnny Cage. This kick came in between his safety pads and hit him so hard in the kidneys that he was peeing blood. Robin Shu, who played Liu Kang, fractured 2 ribs when he was thrown against a pillar. Shu decided to carry on and not let anyone know until after the fight was finished filming, as he didn't want production on the film to halt. I actually wasn't allowed to see Mortal Kombat when it first came out to theaters, so my parents bought me the Mortal Kombat soundtrack as a consolation prize. Therefore, it became extremely important to me as it was my only way to vicariously watch the film. According to producer Larry Kasanoff, the team insisted on using electronic dance music for the soundtrack and were kicked out of 2 record companies. Both Sony and Virgin Records turned them down, not liking the idea of an EDM soundtrack, as EDM hadn't sold too well at the time. The soundtrack, in turn, ended up becoming the first EDM record to hit platinum, which it hit in under a year, and reached number 10 on the Billboard 200. When producer Larry Kasanoff told Midway he thought Mortal Kombat would make a great film and wanted to make it, given the recent failure of the Super Mario Bros. Film, Midway had to be convinced over the course of 3 months to let Kasanoff have the rights to make a film. Meanwhile, while New Line Cinema greenlit the film, prior to filming, Kasanoff was yelled at for an hour by the studio head who hated the film and its script. Goro was considered the diva of the set, as he would break down so frequently. Apparently, Goro cost $1 million and took 13 to 16 puppeteers. They were so afraid of it breaking that the statuary garden set of the film was supposed to have koi ponds, but the team decided not to put water in as they were afraid Goro would fall in and short circuit. While Mortal Kombat is a little hokey, I love how true it stays to the games, and it remains a fun martial arts film to this day. So, what are some of your favorite moments from the film, and what's your favorite video game to film adaptation? Let us know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.